This is a Dragon Blazer production, and I am the little boogeyman.
All right.
Coming down the aisle, the WCW Podcast Champions of the World, Boomer and Blaze.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Boomer and Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
And that's Blaze. Let's start off with a little quick side note. Now, for all of you that listen, I'm sure you know that we are based in Ohio. I'm pretty sure no one out of Ohio probably listens to us. And it was election day yesterday, and I think hell froze over, Blaze. Do you know why I think hell froze over?
Because the two issues passed?
Issue 2 passed. That's why I think hell froze over.
Yeah.
And as of December 1st, the wacky tobacco is legal in Ohio, kids. Now,
well,
there's still going to be a time before, like, you're not going to be able to go to a dispensary and buy your rec weed yet. But technically, on December 1st, it is legal in Ohio. So,
yeah, well, you know, the hell may have froze over, but now you can get warm by blazing up.
That's right. And now to simplify it, I'm not going to get into all the details, but I know a lot of people are going to have a million questions. And when I read this article today, it kind of explained it the easiest way to explain it. This doesn't mean that you can drive down the street and smoke your weed. This doesn't mean you can even walk down the street and smoke your weed. The way they said it was, think of this like alcohol. It's not legal to drink and drive, and you can't walk down the street and drink. Same thing with this. This means you can buy it legally, you can smoke it in your house, and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean you can
go smoke it at a bar or something, probably.
Well, no, because of the smoking ban in Ohio. It's anywhere that you can't smoke, you're not going to be able to smoke weed. It's because it's still smoking. See what I'm saying? So,
can people go outside the restaurant to the smoking area and smoke it?
That's an interesting question. I would think so. If there's a smoking, because if you're in a restaurant that has a patio where you can drink, right, you go out and drink. So if you can smoke on the patio, then I assume you can do that. Yeah. So, and as far as like jobs, it's still up to a business like any place that drug tests for weed and will fire you over weed. They're still allowed to do that. They can't force businesses to make that part of it legal. So, but anyway, just thought I would share that with everybody that it is legal. And I mean, it means you can grow your own too. So for all you farmers out there, I think you're allowed to have, I can't remember the exact number of plants you're allowed to have, but it means you can grow your own too. So there you go.
That's it. I need to grow weed.
Yeah. Yeah. But it has to be for self-consumption though. See, that's the thing you can't, and that's the other thing that people got to realize too. Like, okay, it's legal now, but that doesn't mean it's legal to buy your weed from the guy you've been buying it from, kids. Okay, that's not
I
what
can't
that
be
means.
a drug dealer now?
Well, you can still do it, but, you know, the government wants that money. So,
yeah.
So if you grow it, it has to be for personal use. Okay, so there you go.
Wink, sure.
Thought I would start off with that, and of course, we are now into November, so soon we're going to have to, here I go again, like, you know, our holiday stuff was so good last year, it's going to be hard to top this year. You realize that now? You realize that? Like,
I do.
All that stuff. Because, like, lately, I just saw it again today. Lately, one of our most popular TikToks is from last year when we were talking about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and you made that little TikTok to, you know, tease the episode. All of a sudden, that thing's hot again, man. Like, I keep getting notifications every day, which is good because that means people are actually, you know, watching our TikTok feed or whatever. But, yeah, that video from last year has been one of the most popular things on our TikTok. So now we're going to have to think about new Thanksgiving topics and all that stuff. But we're still early, so we got plenty of time before we have to talk about pumpkin pie and turkey.
Yeah.
Right, so, all right, so let's start with, so my friend here, my associate, kept asking me if I'd seen the new South Park special yet, and I had not, but I watched it last night, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Oh my goodness. I started it. I'm laughing so hard that I'm almost crying. So I paused to see where I'm at, and I was 52 seconds in, and I already had tears in my eyes. Like this was, this might be go down as my favorite South Park ever. Like,
It's definitely my favorite special.
oh, it's definitely the best special. Yes, there we go. Yes,
Enter the Panderverse.
South Park
It's
goes
so
woke,
good.
folks. And by the way,
Oh,
it starts off right away with all the kids as these ladies. Like it starts off like that.
yeah.
Dude, this just from start to finish was so hilarious. Like when they did that whole bit about explaining everything about the Pander Stone or whatever they were calling it.
Yeah.
And she gives that big spiel.
Panderverse. Oh yeah, the Panderstone. Yeah.
The Pander Stone, and at the end of the big spiel, he's like something about I feel better because now I know why all the Disney movies suck, or something to that effect. Because Disney's the villain in this, which is great. But
well,
yeah, they
so is Cartman.
Cartman, yeah, Cartman is the villain as well.
Cartman in this other universe is Kathleen Kennedy, and he's just wearing a wig, and he's like, "Make her gay and diverse and lame." Or, I can't remember what he actually says. I haven't watched it. Was something to that effect. Literally the day this came out, I watched.
Right. And we were talking about
it off there.
Like, we got to shut up because we need to save this for the podcast. But South Park now doesn't get as much love as it should because too many people get mad. But it's so much more intelligent. It's always been hilarious, but it's so much more intelligent now, which is why people get even more pissed off.
I feel like it's always been intelligent, but people just...
It's even... Yeah, it has. I'm not saying it was dumb. I just think it hits... I don't know. Maybe it's just because of society it makes it seem more intelligent. Maybe it's the same exact show. It's just because all these dumbasses in the world.
One of the earliest episodes, I almost think it's the 4th episode, is Big Gay Al, the Big Gay Al episode. And that was that was a pretty good good positive gay episode. Like, it's all about Stan's dog being gay and keeps on having sex with other male dogs. And then Stan's upset. He's like, don't be gay. And then he finds Big Gay Al, who's, I mean, in fairness, he is like a giant gay stereotype. But, Stan learns that, it's fine, he wants to be happy. Let the dog be happy. And it was pretty, it
was actually
progressive for 1997.
It was.
You also have that early episode of the chicken fucker. Do you remember the chicken fucker episode where Officer Barbrady is trying to learn how to read. He quits. And then he's trying to solve this mystery of someone having sex with chickens. And it turns out the chicken fucker is literally fucking chickens just to teach Barbrady to read.
Yeah.
It's so dumb, but it's so funny. It is. South Park has always been smart and hilarious. I've always liked South Park over a lot of the other cartoon shows like Family Guy. Even Simpsons. And I like Simpsons, and I do like Family Guy to an extent, but I don't think any of them...
Yeah, Family Guy. Now, Family Guy is one of my favorites. Now, Family Guy is not as smart as the show is. They're kind of different. Simpsons is nostalgia. I always like The Simpsons, but I hardly watch it anymore. I love Family Guy. It's hilarious. But as far as... how do I say it? The messages that are put into these or whatever, I don't know how you say it, but South Park's definitely more intelligent than Family Guy, and it's hilarious. It always has been. Cripple Fight's one of my favorites. Remember Timmy and Jimmy?
This isn't as early, but then there's the episode where, I think this is season 11 or 12, there was the episode of where Cartman pretends to have Tourette's, and... There's an association for people for Tourette's or something who is all ready to start complaining about South Park's representation of Tourette's syndrome. And then you find out they actually are, they actually were like, okay, we watched the episode and actually, it's a pretty good representation of Tourette's. That's one of the great things about South Park is they do their research when they're making fun of shit. And,
I mean, one of my personal favorites that I don't know how anyone could have just found hilarious was the Carpet Muncher episode. Do you remember that one? When they were
that was what that was actually, I think, the first episode I ever watched.
When they're all down licking the carpet,
because that's the episode where Mr. Garrison is getting a nose job, and then his whole face looks like what's his name? The guy that was on Baywatch.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah. So his whole face, he gets a nose job, and his whole face changes to look like Hasselhoff.
Right. That is that one where he looks like Hasselhoff. Yeah.
Tom's rhinoplasty, and then, so they get a substitute teacher while Garrison is getting a nose job, and so like they all have the hots for the new hot teacher, and Chef goes on a date with her. He's like, kid, she's a lesbian. And so they're all trying to be lesbians.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand how lesbians working. Cartman's like, my grandma was a lesbian, so I'm like a quarter lesbian. It's not how lesbianism works, but
And they're all on the floor licking the...
Yeah. My mom says you gotta munch a lot of box.
Yeah. They're all licking the carpet, and one of them says something like, "I've been looking at this carpet for hours, and I don't feel anything." Oh God, it's just
and
stupid.
When he's all pissed off because she doesn't know she's a lesbian, so she thinks she's trying to move in on his man stand and shoots her up into the sun. She has one of the most brutal deaths. Actually, she gets shot into the sun.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, I just say that if you're a fan of South Park and you want a good laugh, you have to watch South Park Into the Pandaverse. Pandaverse, yes, the Pandaverse.
Joining the Pandaverse, yeah.
At the end of the movie, when what's her name, Kathleen, whatever her name was,
Kathleen Kennedy,
chick, and she gets back and she's with all those guys, and she goes, "From now on, we're going to make only original content at Disney." And the other guy's like, "Sure, we are. Sure." It's just great.
It was a great special. It really was.
And since there was so much Disney in the South Park thing, we're going to segue that and move on, because I sent you a picture of a certain wrestler.
I know. I got it.
You're already on it, aren't you? So, Blaze, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen Terminator? Silly question, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Many times.
And I've been saying for years, folks, I know what's coming. I've seen Terminator, Skynet. So here's a picture of our undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns with Mickey Mouse in Disneyland, and none of it's real. And not only is none of it real, it was done by artificial intelligence. A little scary, if you ask me. This is an AI photo, folks. None of this is real. Roman was not Disney, and if he wasn't Disney, he wouldn't be wearing Shield gear anyway. But
is this really AI? I can literally do this myself with just Photoshop. This is
a.
Is that really any different?
Yes, it is. Now, come on. It wouldn't look quite that good with Photoshop. Come on.
I can make this look pretty damn good with
It's Photoshop. A little different than Photoshop. And besides, the difference is that's you, a human, doing it with Photoshop. This is not none of this is a human at all. That's my point. Like, hey, AI, show me Chucky as a pimp, and it'll just pull this stuff up. My point of it is that I think it's a little scary. Don't you think this artificial intelligence?
Look, I'm not saying that AI isn't scary, because I have watched Terminator, and I've been scared for this for many years. It's finally coming. I'm both excited and terrified, because we're getting close to the Skynet.
That's my point. Is like everybody's just like how cool it. Everybody's just like how cool it is. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's a little scary, folks. You got to think it's a little. I've seen Terminator.
Just saying.
So yes, you could do this on Photoshop, but my point of it is that it was done by artificial intelligence.
I get
so it's a
that.
Little different.
I feel like you need a better picture to make, because I could easily find a picture of Roman in his Shield gear. I can find a picture of the Mickey Mouse costume. Like, this doesn't look like AI. This just looks like Photoshop to me. I would need like Roman Reigns to be in an outfit he's never been in, or Mickey Mouse to be in an outfit he's never been in, for this to feel like an AI picture. You know what I'm saying? Or this needs to be a video. If this was an AI video and they were moving around like this, then I could see what you're saying. But this just looks like Photoshop. I could do this tonight, right now, if I wanted to. I could prove it by doing it right now, but we have other stuff to do.
I'm so sorry that I didn't get a good enough example for you. I'm sorry. I was just trying to make the point that the AI stuff is a little scary to me. That's all.
I'm not trying to downplay your choices here. I'm just saying I didn't quite understand what you were getting at here.
It says AI on it, man. Come on, you gotta follow with that.
I get that, but I was confused what made it AI, because, like I said, he's worn this Shield outfit. That's nothing new. Nothing about this is something that's never been done. That's what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. Well, it just popped up on my Facebook feed, so
fair enough.
I just choose that. Yeah. I mean, there were several of them of him at Disney, like he was riding the Dumbo ride. It showed him with some old lady, and he had the Mickey Mouse hat on, but he had his Shield gear on and all of them too. But it was just for the purpose of discussing that. Hey, Skynet's coming, kids. Just get ready. Just saying.
Once you have a picture of Roman Reigns in a full gaucho outfit, having a beer with Speedy Gonzalez, then I'll understand.
Gonzalez. Gotcha. All right. Well, let's move on to these guys. Let's move on to Who Dey. Let's talk about Joe Burrow being back. Because I didn't get to watch all the game, unfortunately, but I got to see the entire second half. Joe Burrow was moving around, scrambling, even rushing for some yards.
I did see the whole game.
I think when I got home from work, there was like 6 minutes left in the second quarter, so I got to see like the end of the first half and the rest of the game. But yeah, we're back, man. We are back. Joe Burrow is definitely healthy again. And not just our offense, but our defense, man. BJ Hill's looking like a monster. BJ Hill is a beast.
Yeah.
I think we're looking good. It's got me more excited.
Trey Hendrickson, also beast.
Yes. So I'm saying it looks like we're clicking on both sides of the ball. And by the way, Burrow if you notice, Burrow does really well against two of the elite quarterbacks in the league, because it seems like he has Patrick Holmes' number and Josh Allen's number. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Boy,
they came real close to beating Patrick Mahomes last year.
They
did.
The
playoffs, too.
If we still had our show Who Dey bitching, we wouldn't have a whole lot to bitch about.
No, not the last 4 weeks, no.
We haven't even used the bitching graphic the last 4 weeks. By the way, I can't take the credit for this picture. I don't know whose art this was, but it showed up on Facebook and I stole it, so that's fine. I mean, I added some stuff to it, but this is not me. I'm not that skilled.
Right.
So congratulations to the Bengals as we keep rolling along, and our next I can't think of who our next game is. Don't hate me.
We face the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud. Rookie sensation C.J. Stroud.
But you know what? I'm not even hating. I'm because he's a Buckeye man. So
he is a Buckeye, yeah.
And by the way, folks, he's doing this on not that great of a team. I mean, I'm not saying Houston's horrible, but yeah, he's doing some amazing stuff on with not a lot. So that's going to be an interesting game.
I'm happy for C.J. Stroud, but I hope he's humbled this weekend.
and he may be, because I don't know how his O-line is going to hold up against our defense. So yeah, he might get humbled this weekend. Is it at home or is it in Houston?
That I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, but point being, we were back in the game, and we're looking really good. And who knows, maybe another Super Bowl. I'd just like to see us win one. That's all.
It would be nice to win one. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, I watched the entire Super Bowl the last time we went. Obviously, I kind of remember a little bit from when they went back in the day. It's home, cool. So as somebody I work with actually got to go to the game. I was pretty jealous. That would have been cool. But man, you got to like sell your house and your car to go to an NFL game anymore. So I don't see that. I don't see that happen. Oh, it's ridiculous. I tried to get tickets last year when they debuted the all white. I'm good.
Not doing the white one.
I'm good.
If they did the white, was it a night game too?
It was a Thursday game. Remember when they debuted? It was it was Thursday primetime game when they debuted.
Yeah, it's a primetime game, so that's even harder.
Yeah, so I was good on that one. I'll pass, but congratulations to the Bengals. Keep it going. All right, so I want to go to this interesting picture I sent you about the NWA. I don't remember if I had mentioned this on the show a couple weeks ago or not, but the NWA had signed a deal to start airing their show on the CW. I think we might have talked about it on the podcast, but we talked so much I don't remember if it was on the show or off air. But the point was they had a deal lined up to go to to the CW, and then on their pay-per-view right after that was announced, they had this scene where they have I can't remember his name. That's horrible, and I should. But this gentleman is snorting cocaine off a table with a bunch of hookers around him.
That's some attitude era shit.
So this happened, and then yesterday we get an announcement about NXT. Would you like to share that with everybody?
Sure.
The little NXT thing I showed you. So NWA signs a deal.
NXT didn't go too far.
Then they have a manager snorting cocaine with hookers on pay-per-view. So then the next thing that we hear just yesterday is it's not NWA going to CW, it's NXT. So yes, the CW dropped the NWA after the cocaine snorting scene, and now NXT is moving to the CW in 2024. The thing I kind of find crazy about it is, now we're wrestling fans, so like when you saw that picture, the first thing you just said was, "Oh, it's the Attitude Era."
Yeah.
And I agree, and I was kind of shocked that this blew the deal, only because, for one, it was a pay-per-view, and for two, not to knock it because I'm all about all wrestling promotions, but how many people do you think really even bought that NWA pay-per-view? Like,
well, it offended the two fans that watched it, so you know.
But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody saw that happened in the WWE, so then they got on the phone and was like, "Hey, would you rather have NXT than NWA?" Because, you know, if WWE went to them and said, "Would you rather have us?" Of course they're going to be like, "Hell yeah, we'd rather have NXT than NWA." So I don't know if they're making it try to sound like it was what happened on that pay-per-view, but I wonder if it was really that, or if it was really just more of a take advantage of that situation and slide on in, because anybody, again, I love all wrestling, but any television station is they're going to take WWE over AEW, over Ring of Honor, over any wrestling promotion, because they're still number one. So, and I think this is good for NXT because more people are likely to have CW than they do. What are they on now? USA, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if they're still on USA or if it's just on the network. But the point is, CW. I
thought it was just on the network.
CW. It used to be on USA, but it might just be on the network now. So, for one, it'll get them back on weekly TV, and for two, CW is a channel that people could get even if they don't have cable. You know, a lot of people are going to have it because of antenna or whatever. So it's just a broader audience. I think it's good for NXT, NWA. Sorry. I mean, Billy, you know, Billy Corgan runs the NWA. I think we discussed that before. Like, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins is the owner of the NWA.
Yeah.
So I wonder what he's thinking now. Because TV exposure would help. You can only watch NWA on YouTube right now. That's the only way you can watch it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But the lesson learned here is don't snort cocaine on a pay-per-view. And it probably wasn't even cocaine, but you would have to watch the whole scene. They were definitely making it look like cocaine and hookers, so
it was probably pixie sticks.
Yeah, probably. You know, I don't know, but so
and Hooters waitresses.
Well, I don't think I have any other non-wrestling related stuff. We can move on to Crown Jewel. I did not watch it all, but I did watch it. But I did watch one match, of course, and I'm sure if you follow any kind of wrestling platforms, you've seen that Logan Paul actually legit did save Ray from what could have been a career-ending or even life-ending injury. So, as much as I hate on him, I applaud him for that. Because Ray would basically jumped off the second rope and was doing a backflip, and he was going to land head first on the mat. Logan Paul actually readjusted and caught Ray. So, that was good. That was quick thinking on his feet. Logan Paul did win the U.S. title, which didn't shock me. But I'll tell you what, in an interview, he said that basically he said he thinks he's going to go to the Performance Center and take advantage of having that available to him. And you know that's what I've said this whole time about Logan Paul. Just want you to sharpen your skills up a little bit. So I hope he does go to the Performance Center and, sharpen his skills up. But like him or not, and I know how wrestling works, I know that they pick and choose, but still, this was only his 8th match. And he's got gold around his waist, so there you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it? But really all I watched was the main event, and dude, LA Knight, I sent you that other photo because it was such a, at least he got to have a moment. This was like a WrestleMania moment for LA Knight. That place went nuts, and this was Saudi Arabia, which I know they've had a relationship with him for a while, but I don't even think I expected Roman, my bad, LA Knight to get that big of a pop. It was just such a big fight feel, and the arena was just going crazy. LA Knight's a star. Unfortunately, we all know what happened because we have zero reason to believe Roman's going to lose the title before WrestleMania. And even if there was believability, like it would have been hard to believe they would do a title change. They would have done the title change at Crown Jewel anyway. But it gave LA Knight a chance to be in the main event. It gave LA Knight a chance to prove he can be the main event. So hopefully it'll lead to something big for him.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think we were talking off air when I told you that I'm hearing rumors that it could be LA Knight and Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I mean, I wish LA Knight was going for the world title, but
yeah,
and he still may. That's just early rumors. I mean, things could change, folks. Plans change. I'm just hearing early buzzes that could be the plan for Mania. But as far as the rest of the pay-per-view, I did not watch it. I will eventually, and of course, eventually we will be covering these pay-per-views. It was a great main event, though, and of course, it was just a typical that Roman got help to win. That's what we expect. That's fine. It's whatever. But there you go.
Well, personally, I think we should try to do a special episode for Survivor Series. We got Survivor Series coming up.
We do have Survivor Series coming up, and did I not send that to you? Uh-oh. I have a graphic for that, and I did not send it to you.
For Survivor Series?
For the new one, yeah. The Survivor Series coming up, yes, because did you hear they announced War Games?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think so. Oh, yeah. I've seen this.
Just last night, they made the War Games, or not. Wait, no, today's Wednesday. Monday on Raw, the War Games match got made official. So War Games is coming back for Survivor Series, and there was a rumor for a second that they weren't going to do War Games, but obviously that changed. Part of me wishes they were still going to do the champion versus champion thing, because we'd get to see Seth versus Roman again, but I guess that ain't going to happen. But yeah, it will be the Judgment Day against Cody, Jay, Sammy. Who's the fourth member? I'm so horrible. I can't remember. I can't remember who their other partner is.
KO?
It's probably KO. I just can't remember off the top of my head. And of course, the Judgment Day's other member is going to be that JD McGuff guy or whatever his name is. That's been
that guy.
So that guy. So yeah. So we do get War Games back. I have to tell you that I know you've seen this picture. Of course, I did whatever to it, but I know you've seen this picture on Facebook. But somebody turned it into a meme already, and the meme said, "Stardust is up to some weird shit these days." Oh, poor Cody. You know what? But he had to have laughed because when Cody re-signed, one of the first things they did was released Stardust figures. So, yeah. Stardust is up to some strange shit. So I'm excited we do get War Games back at the Survivor Series. So it should be good, and I'm sure something's going to happen in there to continue this whole Cody finishing his story, which we know how big I campaigned for that last year, and then he didn't get to finish his story. So,
yeah.
You made sure to point that. You made sure to point that out to me.
Cody
didn't finish his story.
I think we have one thing left. Don't we?
He's evil. I tell you, evil. All right. So did we get through? Oh, how could I forget that? Their other partner is Seth freaking Rollins. My bad. The champ's on their team.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Okay.
interesting. Which is interesting because a cash-in could happen during that War Games or after that
that's
War
a good
Games.
point.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
All right. Are we really down to our last thing already? We didn't ramble that much this week. That's impressive.
It's probably good because this is a 4-hour pay-per-view.
Because we got a 50-hour pay-per-view. Yeah. So so I think we only have one thing left, if I'm correct. Is it time for the Sheik Tweet of the Week?
Sheik Tweet!
And this week, the Sheik pays tribute to the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Gotta love it. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, you dumb son of a bitch.
We can't go on together with suspicious minds, you dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah, that sounds right, yeah. Oh, you gotta love the Sheik.
We do.
Little throw out to the king. Yeah, and I love the fact that they're, like we talked about, there's just millions of them, and I can't believe I've never seen this one. I actually enjoy going through his Twitter feed every week to find a new tweet. So there you go. We can't go on.
I enjoy you doing that too.
Dumb son of a bitch. Yeah. It didn't last long, right? I think we only went like 2 weeks that we didn't have a Sheik tweet when he first passed away. I think it was only like a 2-week thing. So
we were debating.
Yeah. But I'm glad we stuck with it. So there you go. Time to get in our time machine, kids. It's time to go back.
Indeed.
Back in time. Gonna go back in time.
Man.
Yeah. We are going to Starrcade 80. Where are we at? 7? 86?
86. The
Skywalkers. Yes. So this should be interesting. We know that some of these Starrcades have been, once again, fabulous cover art. Is that your Tinder picture? Is that what you used for the?
It's about to be.
It's about to be.
I mean, my pictures aren't working as it is, so I might as well throw that on Tinder. Throw that and the picture of me at Rocky Horror the other day. Just goes.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. So here we go. We're going to watch Starrcade 86, The Skywalkers. It's a 7.5-hour pay-per-view. I feel like we're about to watch Titanic. Let's just hope the ship don't sink. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Let's do it. Hello, everyone. Here we go. Are you ready?
I said, are you ready?
Wrong company. My bad. Here we go.
Wrong show.
Wrong show. All right, we're in our time machines. Here we go. Starrcade 86, The Skywalkers. And we will say that we both noticed when this kicked off, they're getting a little more flashy here quick. Like we got some laser lights and stuff going off. We get a singing of the, did they sing America the Beautiful or a national anthem? No, I can't remember. But
they did the national anthem and there was no singing involved. It was
it was just musical. That's right.
Instrumental. But I'm curious if WCW starts doing national anthem, like having celebrities come in.
Yeah, I can't remember as far as singing. That'll be
interesting
to see.
WWF already has. I believe they had some. Or no. Wasn't the second one? Didn't they have that one female wrestler who was terrible? Rockin' Robin sing it.
Rockin' Robin sung it, and it was bad. It's bad. Yeah.
It might not until like WrestleMania 3, where they got Stevie Wonder or someone.
Right, and they started bringing in, but I can't remember how much of that WCW does. It'll be interesting to see, but yes. So here we are, Starrcade 86, Night of the Skywalkers, and you can already see the contraption because it's already out there. Now, as soon as this started and you saw that, wasn't one of your first thoughts like, this is not a good idea? This is a bad idea.
As someone who has acrophobia, absolutely.
I mean,
the second
I would rather go on top of a Hell in the Cell and wrestle than to climb this fucking thing they have around this ring right now. That 4 men,
it looks
4
like it's
grown
gonna
wrestlers,
it's gonna topple over.
The Road Warriors are going to be up on that thing, man. Like it's not a good idea. But anyway, that's
a terrible idea.
That's a little way down the road. We're going to kick it off with the Porn Star Rejects in a tag team match. So let's go with that. And
Porn star? I mean, I don't know about this.
Okay, well, you have to find what you can on the internet, but the Kernoodles, or however you want to say that, like
Kernoodles?
Don Kernoodle wishes he looked that good in this match because he was not that shape by the time of this match. He's a little chunky in this. I don't know. I didn't know any of these guys. It was a boring kickoff match, but there's some hope in this because I've peeked ahead, and there's going to be some people we know in this pay-per-view before they're
It's not here.
big, but it's not here. No, it was Tim Horner, Nelson, whatever his name is, the Noodle Brothers. It was what it was. Everybody except for Tim was dressed in blue. I don't know if they were like, "Hey, what's wrong, Horner? You don't have blue trunks. You can't match everybody else." I don't know. But anyway, it was one with a reverse roll up, not a roll up. How do you kind of call that when someone sits on you and pins you like that? I don't know what to call that. A reverse cowgirl? I don't know.
It was like a sunset flip that
kind of deal.
Reversed.
And then he reversed it, and that's how he won. So thankfully, it wasn't a super long match. Thank you, Jesus.
No.
Not a good start to the Night of the Skywalkers, and of course, this is our marathon too.
I've never heard of anybody in that ring.
The only person I have, and I don't know why, is I've heard the name Tim Horner before, and I imagine that's because of all the podcasts I listen to. I'm sure one of the wrestling podcasts have probably covered this Starrcade before. That's probably where I've heard Tim Horner's name. But yeah, other than him, nope. Don't know any of these guys. Don't care to know any of these guys. Just glad it's over. I don't even know what to give this. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It wasn't. Not really.
I'm gonna give it one Kernoodle. One Kernoodle.
One Kernoodle.
Even though there's two Kernoodles out there, they're only getting one. Yeah.
I'm giving this one. Are we done yet?
Are we done yet?
Are we done yet?
It is interesting though because you mentioned it, and even though it wasn't flashy, I do feel like that in the NWA was a little bit ahead as far as WWE, as far as those few little things like the laser lights and all the blah, 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 opening there, especially the laser light thing. This is '86. You know what I mean? Like that's not something you're seeing a lot of. So let's just hope like some of this match quality can match up to the way it started. But it's not this one. It's not this match. This is not the one that's gonna.
Not this. Not this.
No. Hopefully, the next match is a little better. I actually know both the men in the next match, so maybe we have a chance of.
I know Jimmy Garvin.
Well, you don't know the other guy, but you know one of his siblings because this is one of the Road Dogg's family members in this match. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Road Dogg comes from the Armstrong family, so you're going to get to see. And you might see a little resemblance too when you see Brad in the ring. You'll probably be like, okay, I can see the resemblance. So yes, this is the Armstrong family. No, no. I'm pretty sure that Road Dogg was the only Armstrong that ever put dreads in his hair. So but all right. I think that's all we have to say about this opener. Let's just hope it gets better. It's got to get better, right?
Yeah, please, I hope so.
If nothing else, we get to see four grown men try not to die on the scaffold later. So I mean, we got that at least.
Right? Yeah, there's that.
And a strap match and a cage match because this is a Starrcade in the 80s and we have to have as many stipulations as possible. So, and all the titles got to be on the line, so let's see what happens. Let's move on. All right, so here we go, our second match. At least we get some wrestling. Like this match was way better, not that they had a lot of competition in that kickoff match, but this was way more entertaining. It was Brad Armstrong against gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. You were like, I actually know these guys, but you had the wrong Garvin. Wrong Garvin. Like that's not the Garvin I was talking about. I was talking about Ronnie Garvin, but Ronnie and Jimmy are actually brothers though. So I mean, and I'm sure I think you'll remember Jimmy more because I mentioned the Freebirds, and you're like, yeah, I remember them because he becomes a Freebird. Later on, he's not an original Freebird, but he's a Freebird I remember from back in my day. And of course, the Armstrong family is a famous wrestling family. And of course, the only one that ever actually made it to the WWE was Road Dogg. But this one was way more fast-paced. There was a lot of great actual wrestling action in it, plus Precious on the outside trying to cause some distractions and such. But once I heard him talk about the time limit in the match, I kind of saw where this was going.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm sure it's just to continue the storyline because we're obviously not watching NWA from this era, so we're not watching weekly shows to see what the story is here. But it did end in a time limit draw. But the action was fast paced. It was a really good match. Really good match. I don't remember a lot about Jimmy Garvin as a singles guy because, like I said, when I started watching wrestling, he was already in the Freebirds. But I thought it was a really good match. More entrances. Like, this is pretty elaborate for being 1986. He came down with all his flashy gear on and did the, the whole sexy gimmick. I thought that outfit he had on, I think we should get you one of those sequenced.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get you one of those silver sequenced
I am
outfits.
gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, you could take that moniker from him, but at least this was some actual wrestling, and we kind of knew these guys. I mean, I know them both. The crowd was into it. It was a little more fast paced. The first one was just like a sleeper fest. Yeah. And this one didn't even seem like 15 minutes to me. I thought it had a really good pace to it.
Yep.
You are there. I was like, are you there?
It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the shadows.
Well, you have to remember that I can't see you when we're recording. Remember, I can only see my.
You can't see me at all. Yeah.
You can't see me. None of us may be seeing Cena, but that's a different story. Anyway, it is what it is, but it's way better than the first match. So I'll give this one. I'm gonna give this one 2.5 smiles from Precious. I don't know. There you go. Precious is Jimmy's manager, in case you didn't catch on to that.
Yeah. That's the girl over here.
The gal over there.
The lady.
The ladies.
Yeah, this match was all right. What'd you give it?
2, right? Did I just say 2? I think 2.
I think he said 2.
I think I said 2.
I think I'm gonna give it. Damn it! I ran out of time. Shit! I ran.
Hello? What? What just? I like it.
The bell ring. I don't.
That was nice.
I don't have a timer.
Nice.
I don't have a time.
Time limit draw, kids. Time limit draw.
I can't give it a score. I ran out. It's over. It's over.
That was good. At first, I didn't get it. I was a little slow on that one, but I'm like, I ran out of time. I don't know what to say now. That was good. That's good stuff. It's a classic. Oh, by the way, I looked it up real quick. You're good. I looked it up real quick, and Brad is one of Road Dogg's brothers, by the way. I just thought I'd throw that out there for you real quick.
Yeah, so I had to real quickly load up the bell ring into my.
That was
my
nice.
Media here.
I thought you accidentally hit our transition thing because that's what it reminded me of. The transition when you're watching the podcast.
It is from the transition.
It is, but you did it intentionally. It wasn't a.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a
Bell
good one.
went off and I ran out of time.
Good stuff. Gotta love it. All right, let's see what's next in Starrcade 86. All right, so here we go in our next match. We got a little tag team wrestling, and we got to see a Guerrero.
Yep, this was actually. You know what? Despite the fact that it's Hector and not Eddie, this was one of the best things. Because Hector was actually pretty fun in the ring.
Really fun.
I was pretty impressed with him.
Yeah, so as you can see, we have Wow. Well, you can't really see him, but Shaska is there. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
He really. I made it black and white, and
it's black. Yeah. It's white. Yeah. Shaska Watley and the Barbarian against Hector Guerrero and Baron von Raschke. Very entertaining match here, and some more people we're familiar with, right? Because I'm sure you remember Barbarian, this is before the WWE.
Oh, I know the Barbarian, yeah.
Yeah, and of course
he had a bit of a singles run, and he had the
Powers
Wish version.
Of Pain.
I'm sorry, Wish version of LOD.
Come on, one of those guys.
Rage really liked the Powers of Pain too. I was like, no, they're just trying too hard to make him like. Although it seems like they've been doing this, he's been doing this makeup for a while, so I guess it's not as bad as I thought. But when I first saw him in WWF, it was just like, they seem just way too much like they're trying to be LOD.
And I'm surprised that more people there were a few people, but I'm surprised more people didn't think Demolition was a LOD ripoff. But you didn't hear that as much as you did with the Powers of Pain, so.
They kind of were, but I think Demolition was fun enough that they got past it.
You know what I realized about Demolition, though, when I got older, which is kind of, but it's the truth. Like, I thought they were really badass when I was young, with all that leather and all that they wore out. But when you go back and look now, you do realize Demolition was wearing S&M outfits is what that was. Like, they were, Demolition was actually just kinky sex guys. I mean, come on. Think about it. Look at their costumes. I'm just saying. Ruin your childhood.
I guess. In fairness, we talk about these, but LOD 2000 is also the Wish version of LOD.
Yes, you already know how I feel about that. But they're not even the worst version, because we still haven't seen LOD with Animal and Heidenreich. So, yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
that's
a whole
Heidenreich. But we have this other match, Hector Guerrero.
Yeah. So let's talk about
Baron
this, though. Yeah.
Von Raschke.
It was highly entertaining. Everybody in the ring actually looks pretty good to me, even though Baron's like way past his prime here. I thought it still flowed well. Barbarian just has that look. Barbarian looks like a beast. Like he's going to really mess you up. But Hector, man, the high flying, the crisp drop kicks, like he was the highlight of the match. I think what's unfortunate
He was also really good with the selling, too.
He was really good with the selling.
I really liked. Selling was good.
I think he never really got that WWF chance, because I think by the time Hector got there, he was a little past his prime, and I don't think if they actually ever planned on. Of course, his most famous WWE moment was he was the gobbledygooker. But I don't think they actually ever planned on the gobbledygooker being a wrestling character. So I don't think that was ever going to happen. But yeah, this was really good too. So far, I mean, we're still early on, but so far there's only been really one crap fest in this Starrcade. So
that's true. It's true.
And that was the opening match. This was entertaining. Like I said, I think we've seen Shaska before. Shaska used to be Pez Watley, and then he shaved his head and stuff and changed his character. But it was fast-paced. It had a lot of energy. The crowd was into it. The finish, even though it was kind of simple, I still dug it. Like Baron was in the corner. Shaska went to do like a stinger splash almost, or a corner body splash. Baron moved. Shaska hit his head on the corner post, and he just... I think he rolled him up, didn't he? I don't know. He covered him, though. He got the victory from that. It was pretty quick.
No, he did it. He did he threw him into the turnbuckle, and then as he fell down, he did a elbow drop.
Oh, that's right. He did the elbow drop, yeah. And then match over. And then after the match, they threw Hector out of the ring, and they continued to beat down on the Baron there. Poor Baron got a little bit of an ass whooping. So,
because everybody likes to beat on your elders.
That's right. We're going to throw the younger guy that can hang with us outside of the ring, and we're going to beat up the old dude because we know we have a better chance.
Yeah.
So pretty good match, especially for obviously being thrown together. I don't think these guys were teams per se, but not bad. We got another decent one, and I'm going to give this 2.5 Guerreros, even though there's only one in there.
I'm going to give this a 3, as in 3. They lie, they cheat, they steal.
Oh, I can't wait to get in. Talk about somebody I miss. I can't wait till we get into some Eddie stuff, man.
Eddie is so good.
I know. Could you imagine? Like, Eddie would probably be having a blast now if he was still around. I'm just saying, like,
I'm sure.
Eddie was so good, and I can't wait to get to what you were just referencing, like the cheating stuff. It was some of my favorite, but that's a whole other podcast too. Anyway.
Oh yeah, he was good. He was good.
Got to move on. Let's see what's next in Starrcade 86. All right, so our next match is a tag team match for the NWA United States Tag Team titles, and it's the champions, the Russians. Crusher Khrushchev and Ivan Koloff against the Kansas Jayhawks, Bobby Jaggers and Dutch Mantel. Bobby Jaggers is the only one I do not know in this match. Dutch Mantel I only know from being a manager later on, many years later. But at first, this one started kind of slow, and I had actually literally forgot that they said it was an ODQ match until Ivan got up on the top rope with a chain and was about to come down and use it, and fucking Dutch Mantel goes and gets a whip. Freaking bull whip, and knocks him off the top rope. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is an ODQ match.
Oh yeah.
Because until that point, until the end there, where they started actually taking advantage of the no DQ. It was it wasn't boring, but it was a little sloppy. The Kansas Jayhawks could not clothesline people for some reason. I don't know why. Everyone looked awkward. Also, Dutch Mantel needs a lawnmower to shave that back, but that's a whole nother, story. So to be honest, until the end, yeah, it was kind of just, it was so-so. They did some of the classic distract the ref stuff, switch out, just basic tag team. Once the chain and the whip got involved. Isn't that life? When the whips and chains get involved, it gets a lot more interesting. You know what I'm saying, kids?
You're singing some Rihanna, huh? Whips and chains excite me, but come on.
Yeah, Didn't know how to do me, did you?
Do whips and chains excite you, Boomer?
That's a whole different podcast, buddy. Okay? Let me just sip my coffee and ignore that question.
Welcome to our S&M with Boomer and Blaze podcast.
You just stop. I don't have to work today. Don't make me drink early, okay? Gosh. Anyway,
it's 5 o'clock somewhere, my friend.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere. So basically, until the end, when everybody got involved and we started using weapons, it was just kind of so-so, and they won by Crusher hit Bobby Yeager, or one of them, in the back of the head with the chain. It was Bobby Yeager. Yeah, just boom, chain shot to the head. 1, 2, 3 matches over. So it was okay. It was fine. It was fun at the end of it, right?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it was okay.
It wasn't bad.
The ending, though, was really what made it. That's what made it fun. And then, like I said, what better? I mean, they were the champions going in, but if you want heat, what better heat than to have your United States championships on the Russians? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a no-brainer.
True.
That's how you get people to hate you right there. So, anyway.
As a heel, I approve of this message.
As a heel, I approve of this. Yeah, I mean, that's heel 101 right there. And you can't say they cheated to win because it was no DQ. So let's see. What am I going to give this? I'm taking a half a point away because Dutch Mantel's back is disgusting. And that's what I'm going to give this I'm going to give this 2 horrible clotheslines because that's what I saw in the match. It was 2 really bad clotheslines. It was going to be 2.5, but too much hair.
You never have too much hair.
Or whips and chains. So.
Or whips and chains. I'm going to give this 2 Kansas Jayhawks. I'm going to need you to proceed to JBL 101 clothesline class.
Please. Like, he did a double clothesline and nailed it so weird that Crusher almost forgot to fall. So then when he did fall, it was all awkward and he went out of the ring. I don't know. It was just, ugh. Also, by the way, kids, if you ever want to find pictures of these guys, you have to put NWA at the end, because if you Google Kansas Jayhawks, you get the basketball team. So.
Do you think these guys are just big basketball fans? Because I'm not seeing basketball fans when I look at these Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, I don't know where they got the Jayhawks name from. Who knows? But maybe that's why. Maybe they needed it. I don't know. Who knows? It was the 80s. Let's move on. Let's move on. I think our next match we have a familiar face.
In fairness, they worked a little harder on their name than the Russian team. Hey, what should our tag team name be? Well, we're Russian. Oh, yes, that's true. And we're a team?
Russian team. Russian team.
Now let's win that USA tag team title.
Yeah. Hey, what's funny is this is before he was Smash, but see, Smash is already playing with whips and chains before he's even in Demolition. See how this is all tied together? It's like 6 degrees of separation here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just anyway, maybe we should move on before we get too cut that.
Till Boomer gets too excited, obviously, because that's what we're. Nope. Never.
Let's move on.
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out at 2.
All right, here we go. Our next match. And by the way, I forgot to mention, I wonder how long this goes on with Starrcade. They're at 2 different arenas again. I believe every Starrcade has been in 2 different arenas, which it took me longer than it should have to catch on, because when you're in a ring and there's no scaffold there anymore. Duh. Anyway, they are in 2 different arenas. Our next match is an Indian strap match with the greatest Indian wrestler in the world today. That's how they announced him. Don't be mad at me. That's how they announced him. I didn't. It's Wahoo McDaniels against somebody we both know really well.
Native American, you motherfuckers. Sorry.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
Love Rick Rude.
I was always a huge Rick Rude fan, and of course this is before the WWF, so I mean, like we were talking about off air, Rick Rude never really changed his character. He didn't need to. Rick Rude was also never a babyface. About the only thing he ever did, he cut his hair later on, to make himself look more modern or whatever.
Modern.
And we don't have the cool tights yet, not quite. I mean, his tights were fine, but they're not the ones we're going to be used to when he starts putting his opponent's wives on his crotch and stuff like that,
In fairness, his tights were way more, his
flashier
tights
than
were
anybody
way
else's.
Flashier than anybody else in 1986,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like that's what he did. He was just like, give me some tights that look 80s, give me some, because they were fine. They just weren't what we're used to. But yeah, he definitely stands out. And of course, he came out in his flashy robe, and it had the Simply Ravishing and the big lips on the back, and this was a fun match. This was a good match. It was a hard-hitting match. This might be the best Wahoo match we've seen, and don't get mad at me for that either. I know Wahoo was a great wrestler back in his day. I didn't watch a lot of Wahoo. Don't know what to tell you. I'm talking about what we've watched as we started doing Starrcades. This might be one of Wahoo's better matches right here.
In fairness, it looks like Wahoo has been around a while, and I don't feel like he's in his prime here.
And if I remember right, I think Wahoo was older anyway when he started wrestling, because he did actually play in the NFL. So he went from football to wrestling. So I think he was older anyway when he got to start.
Fair enough.
Despite all that, it was fun. It was a strap match. I think we all know how strap matches work. They were both attached to the leather strap, and you have to touch all four corners. And they just did a bunch of little things that were entertaining. Like when Wahoo was trying to drag Rude around all four corners, and at one point he just took his legs and donkey kicked him in the face to stop it. Rude was dragging Wahoo around one time, and Wahoo used his legs to tie himself into the bottom rope. Just little things like that were entertaining. And they both bled. Wahoo, I think, was first, but we had the blood too. Rude pulled off a top rope move, and the first time he did it, I'm like, that's not a good idea. He tried to do it again, and Wahoo just jerked him right off the rope. But it was, and Rick Rude kind of cost himself the match in the end there. I mean, he kind of literally helped Wahoo win. The end of it.
Yeah, he did. He hit him in the back of the head right when he got to the fourth turnbuckle, and he already touched all three. So yeah.
Wahoo was dragging him around, and then Paul Jones tried to get involved and got up on the apron, and Wahoo chopped him down, and then Rude literally just hit Wahoo in the back and threw him right into the corner to end the match. So kind of cost himself the match, but
I suppose you could kind of look at it like Rick Rude was too out of it for the first three, that he didn't realize that he'd already hit three.
I just looked at it like he didn't care. I don't think he cared about winning the match, because once it was over, he just started beating him down anyway. I don't think Rude was...
well, that's true. That's possible.
That's the way I looked at it. Was like, okay, if I may not win the match, motherfucker, but I'm going to win the war. You know what I'm saying? Or he just didn't realize it, like you said. He could have just been out of it and he was going to... Or he thought he was going to knock him down and stop it. It's just one of those... I liked it. It was a creative finish. I dug it. I thought it was...
I didn't say I had an issue with it. I was just giving...
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Maybe
I liked
explanation.
it. Yeah, he could have been groggy, or could have just been like, fuck it, because I want to beat you down anyway, which he did start beating him down until Wahoo was saved by Hector and the Baron. They came out to save the day. So Wahoo does win, but
Hector Guerrero.
He was not in the best shape after it was done with. And now we know Rick Rude's here. I can't remember the exact year he jumps to the WWE. It'll be soon, but I can't remember exactly when that happens. So a very entertaining match. I'm going to give this... I'm going to give this 3.5 Rude Awakenings. Even though we didn't get to see a Rude Awakening, but that's okay.
You show no Rude Awakenings. That is true. That is sad. I'm going to go with... I'm drawing a blank.
He's blank. He's drawing a blank.
I'm going with 3 mustaches. I mean, Rick Rude's mustache is iconic.
Oh, yeah.
Iconic.
It kind of gets right up there with Oates' mustache, from Hall & Oates. They're right there. All right, well, let's see what's next. It's going to be hard to follow the strap match, though. Just saying.
Oh, you almost forgot.
Oh, we had an
interview. We had an interview.
We watched the Russians afterwards. An interview talking about how they're still champs, talking about how Nikita turned on him. Nikita's facing Flair in the main event for the world title, but he's like, "I trained you, Nikita. I know you can beat the Flair." Like, it was a very intense Russian interview until Crusher talked, and I forget what Crusher
talked, and then it's like the
Listen,
lamest interview ever.
You don't know it yet, but I'm Smash. I don't know.
He was just
like
as lazily as possible, just like, you better give me a title shot.
It was like when they won the US.
Boring. I'm not even going to try a Russian accent.
Yeah. It was like when they won the US tag titles, and he was like, "We are the champs now." Right? He's very, he gets better at his promos once he becomes Smash, though, at least. So there's that.
Well, then he just yells. He does the old 80s.
He does.
Yeah.
Then when he becomes the Repo Man, he still yells, but he adds that laugh to it, too. So that's,
yeah.
Yeah, so.
It was just boring here.
It was like, you go from that.
The other guy was good.
Crusher's great on the mic, and he has. Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking about Ivan.
Crusher. Ivan, my fault. Ivan's great on the mic, and Ivan's got that accent, and his all totally made sense. And then he gave it to boring old snooze fest over there. He should have just kept his mouth shut.
It was so polar opposites next to each other.
Yeah, it was. It was really weird. Really, it would have been like having Ultimate Warrior and Orange Cassidy in an interview together. Not that Orange is boring, but I'm just comparing on the personality level. That's like what we had here. You know what I mean? Like, you got the Ultimate Ivan's like the Warrior, and then Crusher's just like. So there you go.
Orange Cassidy is uninteresting on purpose. Like, that's his gimmick. Right, he's lazy,
but still, it's kind of what it would have been.
This guy was just bored.
He is, but he does okay though. He ends up being all right. He makes a little money.
Sure. He does all right.
Nice. He's still wrestling to this day, and they shouldn't be, but they are. So Demolition's still going.
Walker.
Yeah. So all right. Well, let's see what we have next on this Starrcade card. All right, here we go. Our next match is for the NWA Central States Heavyweight Championship. That's a mouthful. And it's the champion Sam, I'm Not My Brother, Houston versus Bill Dundee.
Crikey.
I guess this was fine. I had very low expectations because a couple times we've seen Sam Houston, he's been boring as hell. But there were a few spots in this that were entertaining.
This was a little better.
Yeah, this takes place in the arena where the scaffold set up for the Skywalker match, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but the commentator table's not only at ringside, like it's literally at ringside. It's pushed up
right next to the ring side.
Against the ring, yes. So there's a spot where Bill Dundee threw Sam Houston out, and he hit the fucking announce table. Like his shoulder or something crashed right into the announce table. Like, you would think by the 80s they would know it's a really bad idea to literally have the announcers right beside the ring. Probably not a good idea, but, what do I know? I don't know. But overall, though, this was more entertaining than I expected it to be. And, of course, your favorite weapon in all of wrestling got broke out at the end, too. Because we all know there's nothing deadlier than...
That is not a foreign object. There's nothing foreign about it. It came from Sam Houston's foot.
It's your favorite weapon, though, because we all know that there's nothing deadlier than a boot when you take it off someone's foot and then hit them with it. Instead of just kicking a motherfucker, we know that taking the boot off and using it as a weapon is way deadlier. Right?
No,
that's not...
I mean, at least with this one, it was like a crime of passion.
Right.
Like, and by that, what I mean by that is that it wasn't like he took off his boot, like, I gotta real quickly take off my boot and hit him with it. This was more of there's a boot here. In fairness, a boot to the face might hurt a little bit. I feel like your boot would hurt more, but It was just
Yeah.
like, I see, I use. It's more of a, might be, you could even look at it more of like a not hillbilly.
Whoa, hey now.
You could even look at it like a, what am I trying to say here?
He lost his
Humiliation.
Lost his words.
Humiliation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could even look at this as like a humiliation thing. Like, I just used your own boot against you.
Right. And it was a little weird to me, though, because they had of course, the ref bump wasn't weird. That's fine. There was a ref bump. And then he went to use the boot, but the ref saw it, and that's why they DQ'd him. So I'm like, why do we even do the ref bump for? Like, but whatever, you know. And I guess that was what it was, is like Dundee thought the ref was out, so he went ahead and used the boot, but the ref was still awake, and he saw him use it, so it ended in a disqualification. But like I said, it was better than what I expected it to be. It wasn't a total snooze fest. There were a few cool spots in there. So it was what it was. Yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna give it 2 unnecessary ref bumps.
2 unnecessary ref bumps. I'm gonna give it 2. That is not a foreign object. Referee.
That is not a foreign object.
It's
referee.
perfectly okay.
I wish we could find like a real
fine.
wrestling handbook to see what the definition is, right? Because I always thought the same thing too about. Now I guess it'd be different if a turnbuckle pad comes off. I'm not talking about if a guy takes it off intentionally or whatever. Even if they do, is the turnbuckle really a weapon? Even if they do take the pad off, how can you disqualify somebody if they use an exposed turnbuckle? It's part of the ring. You know what I mean? It's not a weapon.
If they take it off, you could look at it like damaging property, I guess.
Damaging property. Somebody call the police. This guy's damaging stuff. Call the police. It's interesting though. You know, that's why we love wrestling. You know,
you're changing the effect of the ring, so I can kind of understand that. But I think if you take off your belt's part of your outfit. Like why is that not okay?
Right. You know, and to add to your case, we've seen times where people haven't gotten in trouble for the stairs because they're not technically. Not if you don't bring them in the ring. Like you can fling your opponent into the stairs. You can use the stairs, and it's not whatever. It's that fine line. It's black and white. It's gray, whatever. But let's see what's next. I just don't think a boot should be
disqualification. If anything, Sam Houston should have been disqualified for pushing Bill Dundee into the ref.
True that. The heel always gets shafted. You know the heel always gets shafted. That's the way it works.
It's so bullshit.
I mean, you know that's how it is. There's no love for heels. Heels are people too. Okay? Heels are people too. I'm just saying.
We have feelings.
Yeah, heels do have feelings sometimes. Especially when they don't win. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see what's next. We only got like 20 matches left. Let's go.
Only 20.
Here's the cover! Hook to the leg! He did it!
Okay, our next match is the hair versus hair match between the Boogie Woogie Man and Paul Jones. And I feel like, this is what, our third Starrcade. And I feel like every Starrcade has been the Boogie Woogie Man feuding with a damn manager. Like, I'm not really into the Boogie Woogie Man, and I don't know why. It is what it is. This was here for entertainment, whatever. But it just, are we done with this yet? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think you said they said something on commentary, because I was like, that don't even look like the Boogie Woogie Man. He's like double his size. The Boogie Woogie Man was a very tiny guy, and now all of a sudden he's a little bigger. But what did they say? He's been depressed? Is that what they said? Or something like that?
Yeah, they mentioned that he was depressed because of some loss or something.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's whatever. Paul Jones had some kind of weapon he used in this match. There was a little bit of blood.
It was brass knuckles. You're right.
Okay, yeah, and they showed the replay of him shaving his head for like 45 minutes, and I don't know why. I just... what are we doing? I don't know. What are we doing? Especially when you have, like... I don't know. I just don't understand why the angle keeps being with Paul Jones. Like Paul Jones manages Rick Rude, Manny Fernandez. So why isn't Jimmy Valiant wrestling Manny instead of Paul Jones? I just don't. Then remember when at the last Starrcade we saw Jimmy and Ron Garvin dressed up as a woman and they took on Paul Jones and whoever, I don't know. Just are we done with this stuff yet?
No. The answer is no, apparently.
I'm gonna give this a 1, and that's being generous. I don't even know why I'm doing that, but I'm not even giving it anything cool. It's just a 1. You don't even get a cool tagline. Wait, here's your replay.
I'm gonna give it. I'm also gonna go with 1. The Boogie Woogie Man.
Boogie Woogie Man. I swear, if they're on the next card, I might quit. No,
He really doesn't deserve getting the Nightmare Before Christmas Oogie Boogie Man's treatment, but I had to.
He does not. But I know I got why you threw it in, even though he didn't deserve it. But touche. All right, well, something's got to be better, right? Let's just move on. We have nothing else to say about this. We're good.
Absolutely.
Next. All right, so here we go. Our next match is a street fight, and we get to see another superstar pre-WWE because it's Ron Garvin against Big Bubba Rogers, a.k.a. the Big Boss Man. And when they did the entrances, I think I was right there with you, and I said something about, like, when he was in WWF, I think it was hard to realize how big he was because he was always in the ring with, like, Hulk Hogan and Akeem and guys his size. When he came out with Ron Garvin and Jim Cornette, you're like, damn, Boss Man's a big guy.
He's a monster. Yeah. I knew he was big, but I didn't know he was big.
Yeah, like that big. Yeah. So, and pre-W, and right away, like this match started off hard hitting right away, and I kind of liked it. It was kind of the old David and Goliath thing, and they made Ron Garvin look really strong, which of course his whole character is supposed to be the Hands of Stone. So, I mean, you got to sell that, right? I mean, he hit Bubba with a punch early on, and Bubba just went all the way out of the ring when he got the punch, so a lot of good selling by Bubba in this. And they called it a street fight, but I guess technically it was the last man standing match. They just don't really call it that.
No. It was a street fight. It wasn't a last man standing match. This was one of the few times I've actually seen in wrestling where they do the double count when 2 people are down, and they actually counted to 10. The ref made it a decision that there has to be a winner. So whoever gets up first wins. And I mean, it wasn't like they could have won by pin. It wasn't like that was the only way to win. Well, the ref made a decision because they counted them both. I didn't think so,
but he counted more than once. That's why I thought, are they doing a last man? Because it wasn't just that one time. Earlier in the match, he did the counting thing too. So I thought, like, what the hell are we doing here? But you're right. I guess that's an easy rule to forget, that if both men are down in a normal match, I don't think they do it much anymore. I think that's why
they don't really. I mean, that. They do it. They do it for dramatic effect, and normally they both get up, and
But I guess you're right. Technically, in any match, if both men are down, they can be counted out, like out, not being able to keep going. Yeah,
it would have been a draw, but the ref decided not to make it a draw. He said when the first person to get up wins. It kind of brought some excitement to the match. I liked that end, to be honest with you. It was something a little different, and you don't see 2 men counted down to 10.
No, it didn't bother me, and it was slick because technically we all know Ron Garvin got up first, but because the referee was distracted by Jim Cornette, he didn't see Ron Garvin.
No, Big Bubba purposely distracted the ref so Cornette could hit Garvin and knock him back down.
That's right, and knock him back down, yeah. There it was again, like I feel like the grandpa now, like when old people are like, back in my day, and stuff like that, because I'm so critical about these ref bumps, and I did it again off air. I'm like, why the hell do we have the ref bump for? The ref didn't need to take a bump for Jim Cornette to use the racket because it's a street fight. Why am I so picky about these ref bumps? Why is this stuff bothering me? Like, so I'm the old guy that's annoyed by useless ref bumps now. That's what's happening. Back in my day,
1986.
If a ref took a bump, it meant something. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, it's fine, but like, it's just like Jim Cornette could use the racket anyway. I guess that's my point. Like the ref didn't
That's
need to be
true.
not looking for Jim. It's a street fight. It doesn't matter. Jim Cornette could have went in there and wrestled right beside Big Bubba, and it wouldn't have mattered because it's a street fight.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's all about effect. It's all about building the story. It puts more heat on the heel. I get all that, but it's like, you could use that racket anytime you wanted. Speaking of heat, you have heat with Jim Cornette's racket, so I mean. The first thing she said was he's still got that fucking. There's 12-year-old Jim Cornette. He's carrying that fucking racket. What is he doing?
I didn't realize he had it so far back.
I don't remember him never not having it, to be honest. Not that I watched.
Apparently he didn't, because I can't remember a time without him having it.
Maybe a time or two in WWE he didn't have one at ringside, but not very often. It might have happened once or twice. But yeah, even in WWE he had the damn tennis racket. It was just part of.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that once. You'd have to go back in the archives because I looked it up where he got it from. I know it came from some movie or something, but I can't remember right off the top of my head. But this was fun. This was a fun, entertaining match. Other than I thought Ron Garvin broke Bubba's neck on that pile driver, but it looked a little rough when he finally got him. He was trying to do it like Cactus Jack style, where he grabbed onto his pants and like his waist and was going to pile drive him, and he was struggling.
I think that was more based on the size differential. I don't think he could have done that pile driver by just picking him up.
Oh, I agree, but I agree. I just was trying to share that visual with everybody of how he was doing the pile driver, and it looked a little rough. And even on the replay, it looked like Bubba's head was almost too low. Like it was that close to being a Stone Cold incident. You know what I mean? Like it made me cringe a little. But he pulled it off, so that's fine. And it was fun. It was entertaining. It had like you said, it was a creative finish. So I enjoyed that as well. And Big Bubba was selling really well, too. Like I said, they made Ron Garvin still look strong. And to be able to, beat up a guy that's twice your size in a fashion like that's good. It was entertaining. This one was fun. We've had a few that were kind of, stinkers, but I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, no, I like this one as well.
Yeah, good story, good finish, and the heel gets the victory. I'm gonna give this 3.5 tennis rackets.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm gonna go with 3.5. I'm lost.
Yeah, it's harder on these old ones. You got to like pull stuff out, but it's a little bit harder on these.
1940s outfit.
1940s outfit. Well, soon he'll be dressed like a prison guard and be making a lot of money. So,
Yeah.
Of course, Ron Garvin goes to WWE too, but they really don't do anything with him. So,
no, he's in a couple of those WrestleManias, but
yeah, but
they call
nowhere
him
near
rugged Ronnie.
Rugged Ronnie Garvin, yeah, and he doesn't come anywhere near the star that he was in the NWA. So, anyway, all right, we're gonna move on, and we know next we get a first blood match, and we get a little bit of the American dreams. You know what I'm saying? A little of the American dreams.
This will be interesting. I'm still trying to get interested in Dusty Rhodes because so far I don't understand how he became such a big draw.
Well, because he was the booker. Ooh, not cool. No, we talked about it a little bit before. We know what part of it was. Just he was relatable. Was what part of it was. He was just relatable.
That's true.
He wasn't your tip. Nothing. If you took a non-wrestling fan and asked him, "Who do you think this guy was?" they would never say a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, he does not look like a professional wrestler at all. And all them beer guzzling guys at home that weighed like 800 pounds were like, hell, if Dusty can do it, I can't do it. That's all it was. It was just relatability.
Well, yeah, and most of them have been there. Have you seen all the balding men that we've had in the ring? I mean, come on. Balding beer gut men? I mean... There are
a lot of... Yes. A lot of those in this, yeah, for sure. But you know what I mean. He definitely is not your typical looking wrestler, I mean, even Bubba, he's big, but Bubba's so tall that Bubba still looks, like an intimidating.
Oh, he's imposing, absolutely.
Yeah, but I agree with you. So far from what we've seen, I found WWF Dusty more entertaining, and that's the one everybody was like, I can't believe Vince put him in polka dots. Yeah, well, he was entertaining. He was entertaining in the WWF. I liked him as a kid. I mean, I'm just saying. So, but we'll see. This could have potential because he's facing Tully Blanchard and it's a first blood match. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
Let's do it. Okay. Sorry, Cody. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Dustin. Snooze fest. I don't know. Snooze fest. Dusty versus Tully for the U.S. title, or the TV title, I'm sorry, for the television championship, and a first blood match. It was boring. I mean, it was boring.
It was boring till the end.
Till the end. And when we got the ref bump, I'm like, why the hell are we doing a ref bump again? But in this case, it made sense because Tully was actually busted open. JJ cleaned him up, used some Vaseline to cover up the cut, gave him a roll.
Gave him a weapon.
Gave him a roll of quarters or whatever it was, and he hit Dusty with him, which busted Dusty open. So when the ref came to, he saw Dusty bleeding and Tully wins. But until that point, it was boring, man.
I felt bad for Tully, you know. He used those roll of quarters, and he really needed to go to the laundry that day. And now they're all over the ring. It's very sad.
I feel his pain, man, because I now also do the laundry, Matt. I feel his pain. Pain.
Yeah.
I was going to do a load this morning. I was short a quarter, so I couldn't. Anyway, yeah.
Are they all over your ring?
Yes, they are all over my ring because I hit myself with them while I was watching this match to try to wake back
understood.
up.
Understood.
Yeah. At least it had an entertaining finish and got heat on Tully. Definitely a classic heel finish. But I forgot to mention at the very beginning of the match, J.J. Dillon has these papers that are trying to state a doctor said Tully has to wear headgear. You know, it's the old, help the lawyer, which was fine. But, of course, the ref said no. Dusty gave Tully an elbow, and he was bleeding from the bionic elbows.
Right.
And the funniest part of that segment to me, though, was, he was down for a while, too, and then I saw the blood, and I'm like, oh, so he was cutting himself. Well, the Vaseline fell out of his coat pocket, which they used later in the match. I saw the ref take that to the side, and then JJ dropped his blade in the middle of the ring, and I saw the ref pick it up, and I'm like, oops, not supposed to, that was hard way, guys. I didn't cut myself. The elbow's just that deadly. That was hard way. I didn't. That was a little entertaining too to see all the stuff while I was talking. Other than that, it was a snooze fest. And sorry, Tully, that your laundry day got ruined. But at least you walked out champion.
It's very sad. It's very sad, actually.
So I'm gonna give this one load of laundry I can't do. So there you go.
I'm going to give it 1.5. I'm going to give it a 0.5 because of that ending.
I did like the ending. That might be one of the first times I've seen that get pulled off, which, by the way, it wasn't bad, but we actually could see Tully bleeding. Tully was legit bleeding, and then they just kind of did the boxing trick to stop it. But I don't think I've seen a first blood match maybe where they fooled the ref, but I don't think I've ever seen it where someone's actually cleaning the cut and trying to. It was pretty creative. It might be one of the first times it was done that way. So at least I could dig the ending. Give him credit. Yeah,
I'm gonna go with proper heel work. 1.5 proper heel work.
There was a lot of good heel stuff in this, and I don't remember a lot of Tully, so that's why I'm kind of glad we're going back. And I only really knew Tully because of the Brainbusters, their brief run in the WWF.
Yeah, I remember the Brainbusters.
Because, like I said, by the time I got into wrestling, he was not a horseman. He was not in WCW anymore. And when Arn went back, Tully didn't go back with him. So I only remember Tully from being a Brainbuster. So it's kind of good to see some of this older stuff. So there you go. Well, we're done with that snooze fest. And I'm not going to tell you that this next match is going to be 5 stars, but I think we're going to have a real fun time watching this shit show. It's time for the Scaffold match. It's time for the Skywalker match, kids.
Yeah, didn't you say someone dies?
I think Jim Cornette dies. Pretty sure Jim Cornette dies.
All right, here we go.
This should be interesting. Let's check it out. All right, so here we go with this horrible look. So I'd only seen clips of this, and I never actually watched it. And at the beginning, when they announced the rules, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a rule. I mean, they said you had to throw your opponents off the scaffold. That's not quite the way it went down. We use the
term throw loosely.
Very loosely. But this was just a bad idea. And it's even going to be kind of hard to grade it because, yeah, it was a match, but they were very limited to what they could do up there, and I get it. Like, it wasn't their fault.
Literally just punch kicks.
Stomps.
I don't think one actual wrestling move was done.
No. Banged their heads a couple times on the rails that were around the top of the scaffold, but every time they did that, you saw that stuff just... So they were really like, this is why Pop was so much better back then, right? Because they were just like, listen, baby. Actually, you were joking because I think Dusty came up with this, and you were like, Dusty, are you going to do this match? Nah, baby, I'm not going to do the match. I just came up with it. I ain't going up there, baby. No.
Oh, no.
By the way, you got to throw your opponents off to win while you up there. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. There's this old saying in wrestling, so I'm stealing this, but there's this old saying in wrestling, and what these guys were trying to do was they were trying to make chicken salad out of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's an interesting quote.
Yeah, they were trying to make chicken salad out of shit. So you can only do what you can do. So I'm not going to, it's nobody's fault. They did the best they could. This was a bad idea, and they're going to do it again next year. I thought it was only once, and then, how much did you have to pay the Midnight Express to do it? Hey, guys, you remember that scaffold match you love so much? We want you to do that again. You're down, right? You don't mind.
This is going to be a rematch?
No, because in the second one, the Road Warriors are not in the second one. The second one is going to be the Midnight Express against the Rock and Roll Express. So,
Battle of the Express.
Battle of the Expresses, and we did get to see Jim Cornette, which I did over dramatize. When I kind of did that on purpose because I kept saying, "Watch Jim Cornette die." He didn't die, but there was a spot where he goes up and Paul Ellering chases him, and then Animal's on the other side, so they have him trapped, and he decides that the best thing to do is just to go to the bottom of the scaffolding and drop down. Bubba was supposed to catch him and did not, and Cornette landed directly on both of his, he almost landed in a stand-up position. It definitely looked painful.
Yeah.
To
he was screaming, my knees, my knees.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he broke an ankle, cracked a few ribs. It's going to sound crazy to say, but that looked more painful to me than Foley getting thrown off the cell. And that sounds crazy, but at least Foley landed on a table, and he landed in a laying position. Jim Cornette literally dropped and pretty much landed standing up, and it just did not look No, it did not look good.
Although when you told me that he fell off, I thought he legit fell off.
Fell off the top, yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be a bit or part of the thing. I thought it was an accidental, oh no, he fell off. I was like, man, I can't believe he's alive. But
but he kind of did what both the Expresses did too. They made sure no one fell from the top of the scaffolding. Everybody basically fell from hanging on monkey bars underneath. So that's a little bit better than what could have happened, but it's just because anything literally could have happened. There was a point that Hawk was hanging off at the other end of the scaffolding, and if he would have lost his grip or the bars would have gave way, he would have literally fell to the floor where there were no mats.
And I don't see mats. I don't see mats. Yeah,
there are no mats, so it could have been really, really just. I'm sure when they had pitched this match, the Road Warriors were like, "Yeah, whatever." Hawk's like, "Bring it on, bitch!" But yeah, I know Jim Cornette in real life was not thrilled about this match. And from what I remember reading, the Midnight Express was not real thrilled about this match either, but,
well, guess what? Neither was the audience, so...
no. They were probably just as concerned as we were watching it. I don't even know how to grade this thing because it's not that it was bad, it was just limited to what they could do. And I kind of just felt bad for him the whole time.
It's also not good.
It was not good. It was a bad idea, and it just you were just basically watching four guys to try to not fall to their death or to serious injury is basically what it was. Just trying to keep everyone from dying. So, I'm going to give this one. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. I don't know. It wasn't good, but it was just a dangerous, dumb idea.
Really, really was. And I'm going to give this 0.5. Say no to drugs, kids.
Drugs are bad and bad.
You shouldn't do drugs. Because you do drugs and then you come up with stupid-ass shit like this.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, and this was not good. And we're going to do it one more time just to make sure that it was not a good idea. I don't know. I literally, as much wrestling knowledge as I have, thought this only happened one time, but we were talking about what we have coming up and all this, so I kind of did some sneak peeking, and we get another Skywalker match next year. So there's that.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea.
All right. Well, I would say let's see what's next, but we know what's next. We're down to 2 matches, and we're about to get us some steel cage tag team action next. It's time for another Express. Another Express.
I'll give the Starrcade one thing. It is constantly giving us unique matches and not just
if you remember, pretty much every Starrcade's done that so far, where they've had a bunch of different, special matches or gimmick matches, whatever you want to call it. So.
But the early matches are normally shitty.
Oh, well, yeah, but I was going to say, even the Starrcades we've watched, we've had a lot of, whatever, hair versus hair blah, 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 matches, and 75 titles usually. There were a few less titles in this one.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, all right, well, let's see what's next. Cage time. All right, here we go. So our next match was a steel cage match for the NWA Tag Team titles, and it was the champs, the Rock and Roll Express, defending against the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, Arn and Ole Anderson. No relation in real life, by the way, even though Arn does look a lot like Ole.
Yeah, they don't.
So it's actually funny. That's how Arn got his big break. They were looking for another Anderson, and somebody saw Arn and got a hold of Ole and was like, "You got to see this guy. It looks like he could be your brother." And that's how Arn got his big break, just because he happened to look like the Andersons. So that's interesting.
And he was a wrestler, or did they?
Well, he was already
we got to train you.
No, he was already wrestling at that time. Yeah, he was already a wrestler, but his look, just that look's what got him the opportunity to get into.
What did he go by before Arn Anderson?
I think. Well, he had some other nicknames, but I think when he first started wrestling, he was just using his actual name, which is Marty. I forget what his last name is, but yeah, he was just using his real name for a while when he first started wrestling. So
Marty McFly, got it.
Yeah, I was gonna go back in time. Back in time. Landell. I think his last name's Landell. I always call him Arn, so I can't remember what his real last name is. I just know his name's Marty. But
yeah,
another great match. I'll tell you what, Ricky Morton can take an ass whooping, can he? Like, I mean, Ricky was in there the majority of the match, and got busted open and bled like Ric Flair. Yeah. Like, it was pretty intense. And man, everything Ole did to me looked really legit. Like I said, I didn't see a lot of Ole back in the day wrestling because he was already retired by the time I started watching. So, but this was a good match, and of course the crowd, man. Even when they're getting beat up, like the women are just constantly screaming for the Rock and Roll Express. Like, can we call these guys up?
They liked them.
Ask them how many ladies they had back in the day. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think they quite get that reaction now because they are also still wrestling all these years later. So,
yeah.
Of course, Arn hasn't wrestled for a long time because of his injuries and everything he sustained. He was actually retired before he went back to the WWF when WCW got sold. But anyway, it was a good match. It was back and forth action. Again, this is older, but man, they were using the cage like you're supposed to. This is exactly what I always talk about. If we're going to have a cage, we need to use the cage as a weapon, and somebody has to bleed. Not everybody. But if you're going to bang my head into a steel cage 4 or 5 times, I should have some blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be some blood.
No, that's all fair, and I agree with that. But actually, I think the story here was the Rock and Roll Express asked for the cage to keep the 4 horsemen out of the match.
Well, yeah, that was the purpose of having the cage.
So even if they didn't use the cage that much, that was the story to why the cage was used. And I'm okay with that, although they actually did use the cage, which is cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Also, cool, I just want to talk about how the Andersons are Minnesota Wrecking Crew. That is heel, or actually that's Wrestling 101, not even heel 101, because they threw the brunette, the brown-haired guy.
That's
they
Robert.
Threw him into the cage and then hit his leg on the cage, and then they kept on working that leg.
They did keep working the leg.
Over and over.
And even that spot you're talking about.
I loved it.
Yeah, because what happened is Ricky went for like a knee lift, when Ole was in the corner and he moved, so then he like hit his knee right into the cage. And then while he was still in the corner, literally Ole was just taking that leg and banging it into the cage. And it's something simple, but I don't think I've seen that too often. Working a body part, I've seen plenty, but I don't know if I've seen something as simple as, them slamming the leg into the cage like that. But you're right, old fashioned, focus on a body part, cut the ring off, keep one guy in there, and they did all that during this match.
And Minnesota Wrecking Crew did proper tag team wrestling, and I liked it.
Yeah, very good
old
tag team
school
wrestling. Yeah,
you work together, you isolate the little guy. Obviously, they lost, but honestly, they did exactly what you should do as a tag team. You isolate your opponent. You don't let them tag. You work on the moves, or work on the body part that is injured. You see a weakness, you exploit that weakness. That's what you do.
You do. And the whole thing was just a classic, not just a classic tag team match and classic heel work, it was classic storytelling, because really the Rock and Roll Express should have lost. Like, Ricky Morton got his ass kicked and he couldn't get out of the ring. Mm-hmm. He couldn't get a tag. The Andersons controlled this whole match, and it was just that one little moment they had where all four men were in the ring and the ref wasn't paying attention because Ole was in the corner, or Arn was in the corner. Ole he was going to body slam Ricky. Robert drop kicked Ricky and Ole, and then Ricky's on top and gets the 1, 2, 3. So it happened so fast I missed it. I went down to look at my phone for a second. I'm like, what happened? Finish.
It was a good finish too. I like that.
Good finish. Yeah, the whole thing was a great story. It was a great story. The good guys win. The girls go nuts. And technically, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, you can keep this feud going because they can go, come back and say, well, we should have won that, whatever. So you can keep the feud going.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, good stuff. This was a really entertaining, really well done match. And now I'm worried about how the main event will go. Having to follow this, might be a little tough. I don't know. I remember liking Nikita as a kid, Nikita Koloff, and he was already a face by the time I started watching. So, but our views change a lot. You love the Ultimate Warrior when you were a kid too. Like, things change. I'm just saying. So,
that's fair. That's fair.
As far as this goes, I loved everything about it. Everything. It checked all the boxes. Great tag team wrestling, great storytelling, great heel work, great use of a steel cage, great reason to have a steel cage. The baby faces are over. I mean, I'm going to give this, you know what? I'm going to give this 4 Horsemen. Yeah. Uh-huh. You like that, don't you?
I do like that.
Did I steal yours?
You may have stole mine.
That literally just popped in my head out of nowhere. I don't know. It clicked. But yeah, 4 Horsemen.
I'm also going 4 and 4 body parts worked on. I don't know. You stole mine.
You stole mine, damn it. You stole it, you thief. I thought you were the heel. I don't know what's going on here.
It was good. It was a good match.
It was a really good match.
Really good match. Absolutely a really good match.
I wasn't bored.
Tag team work.
Yeah, good tag team work. Yep. Everything.
Still,
and even though I try not to like the bad guys, like, I've always liked that in the tag team wrestling with the bad team getting that one guy in there and just, pounding the piss out of him for like 20 minutes before, I don't know. It's just old fashioned wrestling. That's all. Good stuff.
I enjoyed this. It was good.
It was. It's good stuff. All right.
I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot what I was going to say.
I cut you off and made you forget. Sorry.
You did. You ruined everything.
I'm sorry. Let's get in the time machine and go back. No, go back in our time machine and we can rewind that. All right.
Technically, this entire podcast is us going back in time.
It is. It is. Technically, it is. Yes.
We're just going back farther in time.
Time. That's all. That's right. That's all.
All right.
All right. Well, we know what's next. It's main event time. It's the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. It's time to watch the Nature Boy, baby. Woo!
Woo!
Yay!
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out at 2.
All right, so here we go. It is main event time. It is for, of course, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Before, though, this was kind of weird. Before we got the match, I guess Flair came out first, and then we got a video that we weren't sure what the hell was going on. And I didn't think about it till now, but it was kind of like a Baywatch thing. Like,
Yeah, kind of.
Like Baywatch thing, this guy just running down the beach with this cheap music, and I'm thinking it's like them trying to build up Nikita before he comes out, and it was a Magnum TA video. Of course, for those who don't know, before this pay-per-view is when Magnum TA had the car wreck that nearly killed him and ended his wrestling career. He was originally supposed to be in this spot, and they ended up going with Nikita. And it wasn't, man, I love Ric Flair. And I hate this because you didn't get to see a lot of Flair back in the day, and you're not seeing his best stuff right now. You know what I mean?
No, I'm hoping for more as we go.
Yeah, I mean, this match wasn't horrible, but it wasn't as good as the last match.
No, the last match was really good.
I mean, we know that it's not just Ric Flair, it's pretty much anybody. You have to be put with the right people, you know, and I really don't think Nikita was a good opponent for Ric Flair. Just kind of
I find
mesh in styles. I don't know. It's
kind of weird to just randomly take this tag team partner and throw him in the main event so quickly.
Well, they were in a bad spot, and they had to figure out who was going to take that, you know, Magnum TA spot. And I mean, I guess there would have been other options. Why it ended up being Nikita, I think they thought Nikita had the look. You know, they were kind of looking for that
Boogie Woogie Man.
Oh God, please no. So, you know, it's all about opponents. We have a few years. Look, Ric Flair's best stuff's going to come when it's actually WCW and we start seeing him against Sting and Lex Luger and guys like that. So it's just, you know, older wrestling. It wasn't a horrible main event, but unfortunately, I mean, there were a few spots like they were outside the ring and the scaffolding's still out there. So they were like using that against, you know, each other, whatever, banging heads and all this. But the end just kind of turned into a Donnybrook, and Nikita decided he was going to clothesline every fucking person that came into the ring, including officials. So the match gets thrown out. But
he was handing out clothesline like he was on Oprah. You get a clothesline. You get a clothesline.
You get a clothesline. But I want to point out, how is this fair to Flair, though? Why is it a double disqualification? What did Flair do? I'm just saying. I'm not the heel, but
they were like, they finally noticed that he kept grabbing the ropes as he was doing the figure four.
Yeah, that's what it was. They knew he was cheating.
Or they were like,
during the match.
Well, you're the dirtiest player in the game, so we're just going to give you a disqualification as well, just for principle.
Just because we can. There was a spot where right after a ref bump, a pretty bad one, Tommy Young went through the ropes and fell out onto the concrete. Again, no mats, kids. And when that had happened, Nikita was actually on top of Flair, and he probably got like a 10 count. But of course, there was no referee in the ring to count it. So, you know, it was what it was. It's not a horrible match, but I'm telling you, we're going to get some better Flair. We just have to be patient. It's going to come. We just have to. Overall, though, not a bad Starrcade. We got to see some people that we're more familiar with before they're big stars. We got some Rick Rude and some Boss Man, you know, and
yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was just unnecessarily long. There weren't a lot of bad matches on it, but come on, man. I mean, this is 86. I know WrestleMania is like 13 hours now, but they also split it up in 2 nights now. Like, this was really long for 1986. Yeah. Really long.
It really was.
And they could have cut some of the stuff out because we kept getting all these, like, packages, like, and I get it, you have to plug your stuff, so they're advertising the Bunkhouse Stampede, then they're showing us stuff that happened on the Great American Bash tour, and then they're just taking intermissions for whatever reason, like.
Yeah, they probably could have cut this down to 3 hours if they cut all those extra packages.
Yeah, cut out the extra packages, take a few matches away, like that fucking hair versus hair match that we didn't need to see, and you know, shorten it up a little bit. So, but it was what it was. I don't know, overall, ouch, man. I mean, this was okay, but it wasn't that great. I'm gonna give this 2.5 woos. Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna give it 2 slow motion.
Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me.
You know, for like that Magnum and T thing.
Yeah, that weird
the Baywatch
type video. And then I thought that woman standing there was like his mom or something, because she looked really old. But the way they were walking down the beach holding hands, I guess that was his wife. But she looked a little. Magnum must have liked him older.
Maybe he likes gilfs.
maybe he does like gilfs, to each their own.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, hey, whatever, but, all right, well, so there you go. So we made it through this marathon Starrcade, and I think we have to pick some matches.
We do. I suppose we do.
Indeed. Flair,
Indeed.
sorry, we love you. We're hoping for better stuff, Flair. But this wasn't it.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed.
Favorite match of the night.
All right, so here we go. Favorite match of the night. And I can tell you that it won't be the main event. Not for me. And I had to think about this one a little bit. And maybe I'm even going to sound crazy if I do this, but don't get me wrong. Like the cage match was great between the Wrecking Crew and the Rock and Roll Express. That was a great match. But I just want to pick the one that was my favorite, and I'm actually going to go with a strap match between Rick Rude and Wahoo McDaniel for my favorite match of the night.
That's fair. I'm going with the tag team match. The tag team match was really good, and I liked it. Had some good fundamental wrestling. I'm going with that.
That was the first pick in my head, and I thought, I bet he's going to pick that one. So let me go this way.
I am.
I really did.
I am.
And that's not the only reason I did it, because I think Rick Rude and Wahoo were right up there too. The Rock and Roll took it.
They were good
by a little bit, but those were both really good matches. So I think you're the one's a justified pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, then we have to decide what was worse. Everybody probably already knows my pick. Anybody that's listened to the show probably already knows. My pick's going to be, but let's go. Let's do it.
Worst match of the night.
And I know there's other options, but I don't even have to think about it. I'm going with that damn Jimmy Valiant, Paul Jones hair versus hair match. Worst match of the night.
See, I'm going a different direction as well. Going with the scaffolding match. The Skywalker match.
The Skywalker match, yeah.
It was not a match. It was terrible. I don't know. And that one, I guess, is less about execution, although the execution sucked too. That was more of a, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, they were put in very, very, very bad positions. So, I mean, that is a fair pick. It's that, yeah, I mean, chicken shit into chicken salad, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was not good.
That's a justified pick, and I don't even know if my expectations will be any different when we watch the next Starrcade and we have another Skywalker match. I don't think it's, hopefully the last one, I have to Google that to see how long they tried that. Let's say just twice, hopefully. Once was enough.
Agreed.
Oh, my. Yeah, I agree. So Skywalker match, definitely bad idea. Wrong Skywalker. I am your father. Not the right. It's not a good match.
I am your... No, you know what? You stay with your mother. Bye-bye.
Maybe if they would have had this scaffold match on the Death Star, then maybe it would have been a little better. Maybe that would have saved it if they could have...
Darth Vader saw that match and he was like, son, I need to go get blue milk, and he never comes back.
I'll be right back. Be right back. Okay.
Honey, I really gotta go, and I have to rule the galaxy.
I have to go kill Luke real quick. I'll be right back.
I don't have time for these children.
Oh, yeah, that was rough. All right, well, now I guess we got to rank them.
Starrcade Rankings.
And luckily, it's still pretty easily, too, because we only have 4. This is only the 4th one we've watched. So, not too complicated here. So here we go. In a minute, because I'm not professional. Pull up my notes. Wrong. All right, here we go. Now I'm ready. All right, so at number 4, I have Starrcade 2. At number 3, I have the first Starrcade. At number 2, I slid in this one, Starrcade 4. But overall, my favorite is still Starrcade 3 at number 1.
I have Starrcade 2 as my least. Starrcade 1 is my third, and I got Starrcade 3 as 2, and then I have this as my favorite. This had a lot of good matches, even though it had some really bad ones as well.
More good than bad, though. It was just a long pay-per-view, but more good than bad. Yeah.
Agreed.
And I guess for the people, and then like for the people watching it, even for the people that were there, like they have these two different arenas. So what are you doing in the other arena when the match is taking place at that? You're probably just watching it on the Jumbotron.
They had a big,
or whatever, you know, like,
they had a big Jumbotron. Yeah, they probably were just
they're
showing
just
them.
watching it on the screen, chilling, like waiting for their turn to come back, you know. But so there you go. Starrcade, Night of the Skywalkers. We made it through it. Next week we are back to the WWE, and it's going to be in your breakdown in your house, a one-off pay-per-view, but it's still not under the in your house category on the WWE, or on the cock, I mean, you know.
No?
No. It's a standalone pay-per-view, so that'll be next week. Back on track. So let's see, we've ranked, we've picked. It's time to plug some pluggables.
Let's plug those pluggables.
Plug those pluggables.
You can find me on Dragon Blazer Productions on the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTubes, the TikToks. You can also find me on the X.
X.
Dragon Blazer Pro.
Fuck that X. And of course, we are on the YouTubes. Don't forget the YouTubes.
Oh, and the YouTubes.
Yes, we are on the YouTubes. And of course, you can find the show. We got the Boomer Blaze Facebook page. You can follow us at Boomer_Blaze on Insta and Twitter. And we are at the Boomer and Blaze Show on TikTok. And of course, our wonderful YouTube channel. And believe me, if you go to YouTube, you don't have to type in our whole, you know, the name of our show is kind of long. But if you just start typing in the Boomer and Blaze Show, it's going to pop up for you. It's not hard to find. So, and don't forget to like us. Give us a star. We want 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars.
Also, this is kind of interesting knowledge.
Okay. Lay it down.
When
Lay it the smackdown.
this pay-per-view comes out, it will come out on YouTube and our podcast at the same time.
Oh, look at that.
This will be the first one that is released at the same time together.
Dropping it like it's hot. I like it. I like it.
That's right.
It's good stuff.
That's
good
what I
stuff.
did to you, apparently, on the scaffolding thing.
Apparently.
That's right.
Kicked me right off there.
I did.
It's good stuff. It's excellent cover art. And, you know, this guy comes up with these ideas all the time because sometimes it's easy. Like, if we get an awesome cover, we're just like, this will be great. We're going to plug our faces in there. It's going to look great.
Yeah, absolutely.
There wasn't a lot to work with here, and he turned it into a wonderful piece of art. Our boxes are way better than the ones on the cover art. Like, we have the cool picture day school background there. Like, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Don't worry, though, folks. I'm okay. I fell off the scaffold, but I'm fine. Just my pride is hurt. That's the only thing.
That's right.
That's all. We all fall down.
You knew how to fall better than Jim Cornette.
I mean, it didn't seem like it would have been that hard for Bubba just to step up like 2 steps so he would have actually caught it. It was like Bubba's just here like, it was literally like a Looney Tunes cartoon. I loved it.
Big Bubba Rogers saw a sandwich in the distance and was like, wait a minute.
Sandwich?
Sandwich? Oh, shit.
Whoa.
I forgot.
You forgot your sandwich?
No, I forgot to. He forgot to catch Jim Cornette.
Oh, got it.
Whoops. Oops.
Do you want a sandwich?
He's distracted
anyway.
by the sandwich.
It's good stuff. All right. Well, I guess we are done, huh? We did it. We made it through it. We survived. We survived the Skywalkers, and we will be back next week, back to the WWE, and of course with all our regular shenanigans. But until then, this has been the Boomer and Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
And good night from Dragon Blazer Studios.
Hey everyone, this is Blaze from the Raging Blaze and the Boomer and Blaze Show. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more wrestling content.